to this week's very late edition of the Magic Box. Late, but not past due.
For those of you curious as to why we're broadcasting several days late and at a weird time,
we're trying hard to cut into the Star City Games weekend streaming market, obviously. That is our main goal. Yeah. We thought, if you could actually watch people play Magic or sit and watch us on a Saturday afternoon, we know what you're going to pick.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd go ahead and just barrel right in.
In reality, the combination of TSG here starting a new school schedule and myself starting a new job really kind of threw a monkey wrench into our typical broadcast time.
Yeah, we're still
kind of like juggling schedules and figuring out the best. It's looking like, what are we thinking?
Tuesday evenings, I think, yeah.
Tuesday evenings. Yeah. So probably like in the 6-ish range on Tuesday, 6 Pacific time. It's probably going to be...
That'll be when the draft is.
Oh, we're going to go after?
Yeah.
Okay, so late night.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to the late night.
We're going to have to figure something out. I mean, it may end up being a combination of some weekend shows, some weekday shows.
Yeah. I would prefer... I mean, I think everyone would probably prefer to have it on a regular schedule. It's just...
But the super late nights on the Eastern is not worked out well for us. The weekends are a bit of a crapshoot because some of us do things on the weekends sometimes.
Right, yeah.
But it's nice because it's easier to get guests on the weekends. We have fewer time constrictions on things, but we've kind of had to condense everything down into one day and kind of shift it back to where we kind of originally started with having league run and then kind of go right into the podcast afterwards, because the initial goal was like, thoughts are fresh, things are just in our minds, arguments have been had, matches have been played, let's talk it out. So we'll see. I think I know the later time spot is not ideal, but it's probably what's going to work for us on the regular. But in exchange for that, because obviously we're going to get lower viewership during those time frames, we'll try to mix it up a little bit more. Maybe bring you more of these kind of Saturday engagements if it works out better for people.
Yeah.
It's nice that maybe instead of watching Star City Games replays for 40 minutes, you can pop on over and join the live chat on this. A bit more housekeeping work since we're here. If you're listening to us on MTG Cast, we're probably still going to be posting there. Obviously, this week has been a bit of a upheaval for them. Still a first pick in terms of Magic and MTG Cast. But, with the whole adding ads to the front end of their show, those of you that are listening through MTG Cast after the fact are already pretty bored of listening to their announcements up front and now our announcements after it. So I promise this will be the only time we stop to talk about it. But yeah, to me, I don't see a reason to drop the network because they've decided to monetize through using ads. It makes sense to me. They need to do it. They've had a large influx of content. There's only more stuff out there from Magic.
Gotta make money somehow.
And the dedicated listener base has been there for them in the past, but the more they get, these are the kind of things they have to do. If you listen to this show, maybe exclusively, again, it's all the more reason to get the RSS feed directly, to subscribe, to go to the blog, to pick up the information there. It's more the incentive. And now kind of the onus kind of shifts over to Eck here, because we've had a big Cube update. You gotta update that tappedout.net account, gotta update that blog section with what's in the Cube.
Yep.
So I like to draw. I've been able to. It's real easy to draw
the weekend of housekeeping.
Yeah, it's real easy to draw the pick-a-pack scenarios from Tapped Out.
Yeah.
It's harder to try to recall them from a real draft and be like, what was the... screw it, just put that card in.
Yeah.
It's harder to do those, but with Tapped Out, it's really easy to do it, and we've just come up with the plan, so...
So, we'll go over the finalized list of changes, things that are in, out, things we're experimenting with, things that maintained a stay of execution, as it were.
It all kind of blends into the main topic for today, because we do want to actually discuss how the league itself breaks down for Cube, and it was something that was posed to us on Twitter, and it was like, we never really stopped to
mentioned it briefly, we didn't really do.
Yeah. So, not only for us, like Dragon's Maze came out, we, debated changes, we talked about a lot of cards, we kind of made a decision what we were going to change, and then we had to hold off because we had the league in place, and this week has been a great week because the league ended, we were able to kind of crown a winner, although it was in a bit of a lackluster turnout because kind of Memorial Day week, end of the semester for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It was a tight race up until the end, but Well, I didn't think it was going to happen, but Eck actually, kudos. I thought we were going to have a guest on to crown league champion.
He's already here.
Yeah,
but little...
Eck walked away. Would you like to tell the people at home what your path to victory in this league's Cube season was?
Showing up every week.
Which is ironic because you did not. You were not the Iron Man of the league.
I missed 1 week. It's true. Moses did full Iron Man me. I took 1 week off to go to a Santa Cruz Warriors game. I think I took 1 week off for something else.
That would be your father.
Oh, right. I was in the hospital. Yes. Silly me.
I do like the ranking of that. It was it was tough. I had to go to a Santa Cruz Warrior game one, and then my dad. I was also not there.
Yeah, but I mean,
But hey.
Well, we'll get it. We'll get into that.
The league supports people that doesn't show up every week. It's not about that.
It's built into the system.
Although maybe an Iron Man award would be something. I don't know if we want to incorporate that or not.
Yeah, we'll think about it. Anyway,
all things we'll cover when we break down Cube League for you. But again, it's a huge week for us. It's it's the end of one season, the start of a new big change in cards for us.
So let's start.
We'll start with we want to do small stuff first. Oh yeah, we'll start small. I mean, we don't know how many people are going to show up today, so we'll stop housekeeping. We'll go pick one, pack one, right out of the gate here. Eck, what do we have?
We have got in this pack Garrick Primal Hunter, Grave Titan, Underground Sea, Dimmer Kirun, Exclude, Umazawa's Jitte, Dryad Arbor, Niv Mizzet Draco Genius, Sacred Mesa, Sword of War and Peace, Seal of Primordium, Daze, Life from the Loam, Smash to Smithereens, Prismatic Lens. This one feels like a slam dunkening jitte here. Just snappity snap crackle pop jitte.
I mean, on your assuredness level, you feel like a 10 out of 10. And
I am on record as saying Jitte is on the short list for best Power 9 cube cards.
Okay, and that sounds like a list we're going to have to probably make one of these days.
Yeah. There are very few cards I would take over Jitte.
So the power of, a sword really isn't in the same camp. I guess if you were going to stop to compare...
If you're going to take an equipment, obviously it's Jitte over Sword of War and Peace.
I'm trying to think of the short list of cards that you would kind of compare to this. And I guess it's Grave Titan and Garrick Primal Hunter.
But the thing about this is... So... Cards that I really don't want to first pick out of most packs.
Triple green ones?
Really heavy color commitment. So Garrick Primal Hunter, triple green. Niv Mizzet, double blue, double red. These are cards that, while powerful, really strongly...
Oh, it just dawned on me. This will be the last time we have Niv Mizzet even as an opportunity to be picked.
He is front and center, but unfortunately...
Yeah, I forgot. This will be the last batch of things we're looking at with the old...
Yeah.
Old
Next
wooden
week
ship.
will be new.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly... I don't know. I don't like saying cut and dry, black and white like that, but for those of you that have played with Jitte and Cube, it's worth building a creature deck for, almost. And I'm somebody that tries to draft control in blue all the time.
And the thing is, it's finding control. Slap that thing on a Vendilion click or whatever, and it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it acts kind of like an enchantment later in the game.
holding the Jitte.
Oh, yeah. Beat down. Yeah, it's the pick. Followed behind by the two cards I think you mentioned. And, again, color commitment issues, so on and so forth.
If I saw this pack without a Jitte in it, I would probably take Grave Titan. I think Grave Titan is really, really powerful.
I agree. So it's a Jitte with a distant second to Grave Titan.
I think the second, the later picks, because Grave Titan versus Sword and War and Peace is mildly interesting, if only because Sword and War and Peace is going to fit in every deck and Grave Titan might not.
I don't think Sword of War and Peace fits in every deck.
It fits in most decks.
All right, I'll give you that. I mean, just not every deck.
Well, okay, sure.
I mean, let's say, if this pack was going to be part of our scenario later, I think the first 4 cards to go
Jitte
would be, Grave Titan,
Jitte, Grave Titan, probably Sword and War and Peace and Underground Sea.
See, from there, I think it gets a little hazy. Once you go past the first 2 or 3, I think that 4th pick's a big wild card.
You think Garrick, maybe?
I think Garrick's in the top 3.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
So is Strongu. Even before the new legend rule comes into effect.
So much G's. The G's abound.
I don't know. I'm just thinking, Underground Sea,
we should
Exclude, Prismatic Lens. These things are all very good.
We should edit Garrick Primal Hunter's name so it's GGG at the beginning. So
like
Garrick. Like his casting house.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there you go.
So that was pretty unexciting.
Where does Prismatic Lens go? Prismatic Lens probably goes...
That's a top 4 pick of this pack. I think that if it was me...
That's bold.
No, if it was me, it's GTA Grave Titan, Primal Hunter, Prismatic Lens.
Wow.
But you could flip-flop the last two depending on what you're drafting.
If I was to rank this
pack... mana artifact accelerants are huge.
If I would rank this pack, I would go GTA Grave Titan, Sword and Worn Piece, Garrick Primal Hunter, Underground Sea, then maybe Prismatic Lens. And only if I wasn't playing blue or black, because then I would take Dimmer Kieran.
All right. I mean, I'm just thinking, like we've talked about in the past, and this is something Sam Pardee. Now we can say officially Grand Prix winner Sam Pardee. So you just add a little more legitimacy to what he's saying. Cards like Swords. There's a big difference between the 4 mana it takes to make GTA happen, and what you're getting out of it, and the 5 mana it makes to make Sword happen.
That's certainly true.
And you're looking at 2 Shatters staring you in the face in this pack. It's pretty possible that you're going to end up facing the Smash to Smithereens if you're like, oh yeah, Sword of War.
And like that's clearly a blowout. But I think that like Sword gives 2 very relevant colors of protection. Red and white are possibly 2 of the best. Since there's not like a red-black sword.
Right, and that's kind of why Sword of War and Peace still kind of makes the grade these days. I mean, we've talked about swords in the past, but...
Its trigger is one of the least impressive.
Right.
But at the same time, like, it can really help you win races, especially against like the aggressive red deck if you can get it online.
Yeah, and there's more play to it. It's a deeper card, because now you can start to change your model, where it's like, oh, well, sandbagging anything means I can gain really important life in this race, and that's a really great element of that card.
Yeah.
We've kind of nailed the coffins into this pack. We get it. We've evaluated some Magic cards. Let's move on and
GTA's a good Magic card.
Evaluate some other Magic cards.
All right, so let's do our
scenario one.
Our scenario pick, the first one. So you have 4 cards thus far: Consecrated Sphinx, Sylvan Library, Wolfhere's Silverheart, Fettergeist. The pack that you are past is Huntmaster of the Fells, Dimir Aqueduct, Deranged Hermit, Savannah Lions, Apocryphite, Wickerbow Elder, Jace's Ingenuity, Mortar Pod, Imperious Perfect, Relic of Progenitus, and Doomblade.
Well,
what do you take and why?
I don't think there could be a pack with more cards that are like on colors for us.
This is a pack of like, oh, look at all, we have so many options, but none of them are very exciting.
It's funny because I could definitely tell that I was the one manning this draft, because I don't think there are that many people in the world that would have a 4th pick of Fettergeist.
You have a huge heart-on for that card.
Which might be a problem, because I think I want to take a creature out of this pack.
Yeah, like you kind of want to take the range tournament out of this pack?
No.
Can we just talk real briefly about how big of a beating Wolfhere's Silverheart is, by the way?
It is one of the biggest beatings ever.
I feel like I've seen that card more in the past, 2 weeks than I had in, the previous 2 months. And holy god, it is a complete wrecking every time.
Is it Maze Batterskull for you?
No, because it wasn't even, I played against it a lot. I just, you know how, you go in, this weird stretch where, you just don't see a card for, a long time? And then
yeah.
So, previously it was Grave Titan. Remember?
I
never saw it. Never played against it, never saw it. So, Wolfhere's Silverheart kind of was like that recently, and then it showed back up, and, I had it in a deck. I think you had it, Vin had it, kind of all in, back-to-back
It was showing up all over the place.
And, every time it came down, no matter who it was for, what game was going on, it was just, instantly, completely, bent the entire game around the fact that you now have, 16 power worth of board all of a sudden. That card is really, really impressive.
So, we're playing a blue-green tap-out. I'm not feeling counter spells here. I'm thinking I'm getting card advantage through my cards.
I don't really like Jace's Ingenuity.
No, it's not what I want to be doing with 5 mana right here. I'm not holding back with these 4 cards.
I think
so. It's really Deranged Hermit, Mortar Pod, or I even think Huntmaster of the Fells is my 3rd favorite card in this pack.
I like Huntmaster, but I think it's 3rd behind Deranged Hermit and Imperious Perfect.
Imperious Perfect. So there's a card that I think's days are numbered in the cube, and in fact, in the last year, that card has been cut and has come back to the cube.
I always like Imperious Perfect. It seems like Imperious Perfect, you just have to kind of understand what you're going to get with it. And Imperious Perfect really is like one of those cards that's like a flag bearer in Cube, like from standard bearers or whatever they're called, from Apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, like your opponent is. I don't know. See,
like Imperious Perfect basically is like 3 mana, sorcery speed. Target player casts their next removal spell at earliest convenience targeting this, and nothing else.
Maybe.
I very rarely feel like it sits on the table for a long time, but he's a great way to absorb good removal from your opponents so that other threats can stick. And if he does land, like, it's a huge problem for anybody.
See, that's the thing, is I don't, to this day and age, I don't think it's that big of a problem. Like, it can be. There are definitely situations where the board is stalled, or you're in a top-decking war, or you're playing like a green-white deck or something, and you just can't answer this card, maybe, that making Grizzly Bears every turn is good. But there are a lot of times in Cube where making Grizzly Bears every turn
is irrelevant.
Isn't good.
Well, that's certainly
like
true.
Looking at the cards in this pack and the cards you have, I can see a lot of games where Imperious Perfect is completely irrelevant. Like you flip on Master of the Fells, kill it, or you flip on Master of the Fells, it wasn't in play, then you cast Silverheart, give the guy with Trample, make huge butt, go right through a bunch of turtles.
I mean, there are plenty of scenarios where Imperious Perfect isn't good, just like there are plenty of scenarios where almost any card isn't good. I like Imperious Perfect because, especially in green, the 3-drop spot tends to be on the weaker side, especially for a deck like this, where it